narcissist's worst nightmare? Ladies and gentlemen, today we are not just talking about overcoming obstacles. We're talking about rising so powerfully that those who once sought to control, manipulate, or belittle you will be left in absolute disbelief. You see, a narcissist's worst nightmare isn't anger, it's not revenge, it's not even confrontation. No, their worst nightmare is you, awakened, empowered, and completely immune to their tactics. Because when you step into your true power, you become untouchable. You become a force so strong, so resilient, that their influence crumbles like a house of cards in a hurricane. The truth is, narcissists feed on your doubt. They manipulate your insecurities. They thrive on keeping you second-guessing yourself. But what happens when you no longer seek their approval? What happens when their words no longer define your worth? I'll tell you what happens. You break free. You reclaim your confidence. You stand in your truth. And without saying a word, you deliver the most devastating response to any narcissist: your undeniable, unstoppable success. So today I challenge you. I challenge you to step out of the shadows of self-doubt. I challenge you to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. I challenge you to let go of the need for validation from those who only love you when you're easy to control. Because your worth, it is not up for negotiation. You are powerful beyond measure. You are stronger than your past. And when you finally realize that the only person you need to impress is the one staring back at you in the mirror, you become the one thing they fear the most: a person who can no longer be controlled. Rise up, step forward, take what's yours, because you are a narcissist's worst nightmare. Clarity is power. The number one thing that holds people back isn't lack of talent, it's not lack of resources, it's lack of clarity. Because if you don't know exactly where you're going, you'll never get there. Most people live in a fog. They drift through life, hoping things will magically work out. They don't make decisions, they react. They let other people's opinions, circumstances, and fears dictate their direction. And when you live like that, you stay stuck. But the moment you decide, truly decide, who you are, what you want, and what you will no longer tolerate, everything changes. Clarity gives you power. It gives you purpose. It eliminates hesitation. It kills doubt. Because once you know exactly what you're after, you stop wasting time on things that don't serve you. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't get it. You stop engaging in battles that aren't worth your energy. Instead, you focus, you execute, you move with precision. Clarity means you no longer allow confusion to be an excuse. You stop saying, I don't know what to do, and you start figuring it out. You take responsibility for learning, growing, and sharpening your vision every single day. Because when you get clear, you get confident. And confidence isn't about arrogance, it's about certainty. It's about knowing deep in your core that you are on the right path. And when you know that, nothing and no one can shake you. But here's the problem. Most people avoid clarity. Why? Because clarity demands action. When you know exactly what needs to be done, you can't hide behind excuses anymore. You can't pretend you don't know better. You can't keep playing small. So clarity isn't just about knowing where you're going. It's about committing to it. It's about removing distractions, shutting down self-doubt, and stepping fully into your purpose. The people who thrive in life aren't the smartest. They aren't the luckiest. They're the ones who are most clear about their mission. They don't get lost in overthinking. They decide, they act, they adjust, and they keep moving forward. And when you have clarity, you become dangerous. People can't manipulate you when you know exactly what you want. They can't control you when you see through their tactics. They can't stop you when your vision is bigger than their opinions. So the question is, how clear are you? How well do you know your own mind? How deeply do you understand what drives you? If you hesitate, if you're unsure, then you have work to do, and that work starts now. Get specific, define your mission, write it down, speak it out loud, burn it into your brain so deeply that nothing can knock you off course. Because once you lock in on your path, everything else becomes noise. And the truth is, clarity isn't something you find, it's something you create, it's something you refine daily, it's something you commit to even when doubt creeps in. Because doubt will come, but when you have clarity, It doesn't matter, because the moment you see your future with absolute certainty, you take back control. And when you take back control, you become unstoppable. Break the chains. Most people are walking around in invisible chains, chains of self-doubt, chains of fear, chains of seeking approval from people who don't even respect them. And the worst part, they don't even realize it. They think it's normal to shrink themselves to make others comfortable. They think it's normal to walk on eggshells around people who drain them. They think it's normal to put their dreams on hold so they don't rock the boat. But that's not normal. That's conditioning. From the time you were a kid, you were taught to seek approval, to be nice, to not upset people, to be agreeable. And at first that seems harmless, but what happens? Over time, you lose yourself. You forget who you really are. You stop asking yourself what you want, and you start living for what keeps everyone else happy. But here's the truth. There will always be people who try to keep you small. People who get uncomfortable when you grow. People who manipulate, guilt trip, or criticize you for wanting more. And if you're not careful, you'll let them convince you to stay stuck. But no more. The time for approval seeking is over. The time for apologizing for who you are is done. It's time to break the chains, because the only way to truly step into your power is to stop looking for permission to be great. And the moment you stop needing permission, you become dangerous. People lose their power over you. Their opinions, irrelevant. Their disapproval, meaningless. Because once you decide that your life belongs to you, they can't control you anymore. But breaking free isn't easy. It means making tough choices. It means setting boundaries. It means disappointing people who benefited from your silence. And that's hard. But you know what's harder? Living a life where you never truly felt free. So ask yourself, where are you still wearing chains? Who are you still afraid to disappoint? What opinions are you still allowing to control you? Because if you don't confront it, it will control you forever. And I'll tell you this, when you finally break free, some people won't like it. They'll try to guilt you. They'll call you selfish. They'll try to make you feel bad for choosing yourself. But that's just their fear talking, their control slipping, their ego panicking. Because deep down, they know the truth. They know that once you step into your power, they can't manipulate you anymore. And that terrifies them. But their fear is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to your own freedom. And freedom doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you become cold. It means you choose yourself unapologetically. It means you refuse to be controlled. It means you reclaim your right to live life on your own terms. So break the chains. Stop explaining yourself. Stop playing small. Stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Because the people who truly belong in your life, they don't need you to shrink. They need you to shine. And once you do, something incredible happens. The world opens up. Opportunities appear. Confidence soars. And you realize you were never meant to live in chains. You were meant to fly. Because at the end of the day, the only permission you need is your own. Emotional immunity. Most people spend their entire lives reacting to criticism, reacting to manipulation, reacting to the moods and opinions of people who don't even have their best interests at heart. And that's exactly how you stay weak. Because the moment someone can trigger you, they own you. The moment someone can make you doubt yourself, they control you. The moment someone can pull you into their emotional chaos, they dictate your state. And when you live like that, you are at the mercy of everyone but yourself. But the strongest people, the ones who truly break free, develop something called emotional immunity. They stop getting hooked by drama. They stop internalizing negativity. They stop allowing other people's chaos to become their reality. And once you reach this level, you become untouchable. Because it doesn't mean people stop trying to manipulate you. It doesn't mean the negativity disappears. It means none of it gets in. Because here's the truth. Narcissists, manipulators, toxic people, they need your reaction. They need your frustration. They need your self-doubt. That's how they keep control. But what happens when you stop reacting? When their words bounce off you like rubber, they lose all their power. And this isn't about shutting down your emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about choosing where your energy goes. It's about deciding what actually deserves your attention and what doesn't. And I'll tell you right now, most things don't. Emotional immunity is built through discipline, through self-awareness, through the ability to pause before reacting, through recognizing the patterns that used to hook you and breaking them. Because the minute you stop giving power to things that drain you, your whole life changes. You get your energy back, you get your focus back, you get your peace back. And nothing is more powerful than peace that cannot be disturbed. But here's the challenge. Building emotional immunity requires letting go of the need to prove yourself, letting go of the urge to explain yourself, letting go of the belief that people need to understand you in order for you to be okay, because they don't. Their approval is irrelevant. Their validation is unnecessary. The only thing that matters is how you choose to respond. And when you realize that, you become free. So test yourself. Next time someone tries to provoke you, don't react. Next time someone criticizes you, don't defend yourself. Next time someone plays games, don't engage. Watch how quickly they lose interest when they see they can't control you. And that's the key, because when you stop feeding their power, you take yours back. And when you take your power back, you become unstoppable. Master your mindset. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. And the difference? How you train it. Because here's the truth. Most people have weak minds, not because they're not smart, not because they're not capable, but because they never took control of what they allow into their thoughts. They let negativity creep in, they let fear take the wheel, they let the past define them. And as a result, they stay stuck. But the most powerful people in the world, the ones who rise, the ones who succeed, the ones who break free from every limitation, they control their minds. They decide what thoughts to entertain. They decide what beliefs to hold. They decide what the reality will be, no matter what anyone else says. Because here's the thing, your mind will believe whatever you tell it. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, it'll find evidence to prove you right. If you tell yourself you're unstoppable, it'll find evidence to prove you right. Either way, your thoughts create your reality. And most people never realize that they have full control over this. They think their emotions, their confidence, their self-worth are dictated by external things, but that's a lie. It's all an inside job. So if you're not where you want to be, ask yourself, what thoughts are holding me back? What stories am I still telling myself that are keeping me small? Because until you reprogram your mind, you will keep repeating the same patterns. And here's the secret. Your brain is a machine. It follows orders. It listens to repetition. So if you don't like the way it's wired, rewire it. Feed it new beliefs. Feed it new thoughts. Speak power into yourself daily until it becomes automatic. Because when you master your mindset, you master your destiny. You stop being controlled by fear. You stop being limited by doubt. You stop waiting for permission to be great. And when you reach that level, nothing can stop you. Level up silently. There's a time to talk, and there's a time to move in silence. And let me tell you, real growth happens in silence, because most people want to announce their every move. They want validation. They want people to see the work before it's even done. But the truth is, not everyone deserves to know your plans. Not everyone should have access to your growth process. Not everyone is rooting for you. And when you keep your moves quiet, you remove distractions. You remove unnecessary energy. You remove people's ability to plant doubt in your mind before you even get started. Because here's what happens. When you're in the middle of leveling up, people will try to talk you out of it. They'll project their own fears onto you. They'll tell you why it won't work. They'll remind you of who you used to be. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing them. But when you move in silence, when you work in the shadows, when you grind without an audience, no one can interfere. No one can doubt what they don't see. No one can sabotage what they don't know exists. And then one day you show up different, you walk different, you talk different, you don't even have to say anything. They'll feel it. They'll see the results. And by then, it's too late. You've already won. Because the best revenge is not words. It's not proving people wrong in the moment. It's becoming so undeniable that your success speaks for itself. That's what destroys doubt. That's what silences critics. That's what makes the people who underestimated you realize they never had you figured out. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them assume you're not doing anything. Meanwhile, you're outgrowing everything they thought you were. And when you emerge, it's game over. Guard your energy. Your energy is your greatest asset. It fuels your confidence. It drives your ambition. It determines the quality of your life. But most people, they give it away for free. They waste it on arguments that don't matter. They spend it on people who drain them. They allow negativity to seep into their mind and destroy their focus. And then they wonder why they feel exhausted, why they feel stuck, why they feel unmotivated. But the truth is, it's not that they don't have energy. It's that they're giving it to the wrong things. Because energy is like money. If you don't track where it's going, you'll always feel like you don't have enough. And just like money, you have to invest it wisely. You have to be ruthless about what you allow into your space. You have to protect it like your future depends on it, because it does. That means setting boundaries. That means cutting off conversations that drain you. That means walking away from people who bring chaos into your life. And if you feel guilty about that, remember this: your peace is not up for negotiation, because the people who truly care about you, they don't drain you. They don't manipulate you. They don't make you question your worth. They energize you. They inspire you. They push you forward, not pull you back. And when you start guarding your energy, something incredible happens. You attract better. You attract people who align with your vision. You attract opportunities that fuel your growth. You attract a life that actually feels good to live. But it starts with a decision to stop leaking power, a decision to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, a decision to stop giving access to those who only take. Because the truth is, not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves to be in your space. And the sooner you accept that, the faster you elevate. So audit your energy. Ask yourself, where am I wasting it? Who am I giving too much of it to? What do I need to cut off? And then do it. No hesitation, no apologies, because the more you protect your energy, the more powerful you become. And once you do that, nothing can stop you. Own your worth. At the core of every struggle, every hesitation, every setback is one single thing: self-worth. Because the way you see yourself dictates everything. It dictates what you tolerate. It dictates what opportunities you go after. It dictates whether you settle for less or demand more. And here's the truth: most people don't struggle because they're not capable. They struggle because they don't believe they deserve more. They let their past define them. They let other people's opinions shrink them. They let rejection convince them they're not good enough. And so they stay stuck, not because they have to, but the moment you own your worth, the whole game changes. You stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing people who don't see your value. You stop begging for opportunities that don't align with you, because you realize you were never the one who needed to prove anything. And let me tell you this: when you finally step into your worth, some people won't like it. They liked you better when you were unsure, when you were easy to manipulate, when you question yourself just enough for them to stay in control. But that's their problem, not yours. Because when you own your worth, you set new standards. You raise your expectations. You stop accepting less than what you deserve. And that's when life starts reflecting your new level. But here's the catch: no one can give you your worth. No amount of validation, no amount of success, no amount of recognition will ever be enough if you don't believe it first. It has to come from within. It has to be unshakable. It has to be non-negotiable. And the truth is, you've always been enough. You've always been worthy. You've always had the power. You just forgot. You just let too many voices drown out your own. But today, that changes. Because when you finally own who you are, fully, unapologetically, without hesitation, you become the one thing that every manipulator, every doubter, every person who ever underestimated you fears the most. a person who cannot be controlled. And when you reach that level, you don't chase, you attract, you don't beg, you command, you don't prove, you just are. Because you finally understand you were the prize all along. This is it. This is your moment. This is where the old you dies and the real you rises. Now go out there and show the world what happens when a person takes back their power. You are a narcissist's worst nightmare. Own it, live it, be it. The rise of the unbreakable. This is it, the turning point, the moment everything shifts, because after today, you are no longer the same. The person who tolerated disrespect, gone. The person who second-guessed themselves, dead. The person who dimmed their light to make others comfortable, buried. What stands here now is someone unshakable, someone who has clarity so sharp that no one can deceive them, someone who has broken every chain that once held them back, someone who has developed emotional immunity so strong that no manipulation can touch them. You have trained your mind to be a weapon. You have leveled up in silence while the world slept on you. You have guarded your energy, removed distractions, and raised your standards to a level that only the strong can reach. And now you own your worth. Now you step forward not as the person they wanted you to be, but as the force they never saw coming. And let me tell you, this is what they fear. They never wanted you to wake up. They never wanted you to see your power. They never wanted you to realize that you never needed them, their approval, or their validation to be great. But now that you see it, now that you own it, there's no going back. Because you are a narcissist's worst nightmare. You can't be guilted. You can't be controlled. You can't be played. You are too clear, too strong, too focused, too powerful. And from this moment forward, you don't explain yourself. You don't lower yourself. You don't play small to make anyone feel comfortable. You move with confidence. You speak with power. You walk like a giant because that's who you are now. This is your rise. This is your time. This is your moment. The world will never be the same again, and neither will you. Now go claim what's yours.